Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Salam Media. I'm your host this afternoon, Thaakir Dawood. I'm going to be with you for the next hour from 12 right up until 1. We're going to be chatting all things sports. We're opening up the show this afternoon with the Marks Park Cricket Club. They've recently become the champions of the Enza Premier League. I'm going to be chatting to Zakir Kathrada and also Hussain Manack. That's going to run us through exactly what it takes to put a championship winning team together and the trials and tribulations that they went through in their way or en route to becoming the champions. We're also going to be having a jam-packed afternoon. We're going to be chatting to Suleiman Moden. He's going to unpack some more cricket for us. He's going to tell us what exactly went down in the Proteas and Pakistan series. Pakistan obviously winning that series, and a lot of South Africans having the question hanging in the air. Mark Boucher out. I mean, what do you think? Share your thoughts on Salam Media. Pop a comment down in the comment section below, and also share your thoughts on that. Do you think that South Africa should continue with Mark Boucher as the head coach, or should they look for someone else who could guide them to the promised land? We do have the T20 World Cup coming up. There's also quite a number of other matches that's going to be taking place. Chat to us on the WhatsApp line. Pop us a message. Drop us a voice note on 061 766 0355. That is 061 766 0355. You can chat to us on Salam Media. Share your thoughts. Pop us a voice note. Tell us exactly what your thoughts are on that. If you want to drop a message and chat to some of the people in the Marks Park team, you can also call in on our landline number at 011 6800 355. That is 011 6800 355. Chat to us. Let us know what your thoughts are about the Proteas going down to Pakistan in the recent series win. Also chat to us about what you think of Marks Park's victory. I mean, an amazing achievement for Marks Park Cricket Club. Well, we're going to wrap up the show chatting all things football. Later, we're going to be chatting to Palesa Mochwene. She's going to tell us more about everything happening in the football sphere. But now we're going to be off to the cricket. We're going to be chatting to Hussain Manack up first. Always nice to see a familiar face. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon on Salam Media.
Wa alaikum salam. It's a pleasure chatting to you, Thaakir. Thank you very much for having us.
The pleasure's all mine. Hussain, run us through this. I mean, how long has the club been in existence? And I mean, a good, 27 years after Unity, you finally get some silverware in the cabinet, the first non-racial club to win this trophy. Tell me a bit more about the building phase of what it took to put such a championship-winning club together.
Jazakallah, thanks a million, Thaakir, for the question. So, Marks Park Cricket Club have been around since Unity, as you say, in 1992, and initially it used to be Proteas Cricket Club. So Marks Park was what used to be predominantly then a previously advantage or white area in Emmarentia, Greenside, in the north of Johannesburg. It's a beautiful community, lovely area, and it's very close to Fordsburg. And so as more and more people moved into the area, the community started growing, and more players started joining the club from so-called Indian colored areas. But initially, Marks Park merged with a club called Protea, who were based in Bosmont and Nuclear area, which was predominantly a colored area. And so it became Marks Park Protea. That was initially in 1992. At that stage, I still played out in Lenasia. It was at Unity and things like that. And slowly over the years, the club grew. But over the years, it's always been one of the few clubs that have been a very non-racial club. So it's always had a mixed bag of white cricketers, black, Indian, colored, from the various different communities. And in Gauteng, up in Johannesburg, there has always been that particular challenge of inclusivity, of integration. So predominantly, even now, a lot of the clubs currently are predominantly white clubs. There was a club that, in fact, Jappy Cricket Club, the club we played in the final, they were docked points for only having one player of color when they were supposed to have two players of color in one of the games or something like that. So it is a challenge in Gauteng, and I think it's a challenge because mostly some of the communities and areas and groupings and people obviously associate these clubs. They're still predominantly kind of exclusive in a way. So our challenge has always been is that how do we turn these community clubs inclusive? How do we include more people than exclude? And then just start to play really good cricket. And over the years, I mean, I initially, when I did play for Marksburg for a few years, when I just retired, and then I coached for 2 or 3 years when I was still a player coach, then left, then got into admin, got onto the selection panel, then came back. And this season, I was approached to ask if I could come and assist and be the head coach of the club, and I agreed. And I think the aim when we sat down was to win the league, and I'm pretty glad to say that we've achieved that. So alhamdulillah, it's been a lovely achievement, and it's been really nice to be part of a fantastic team and a lovely group of individuals and people, and a nice team of people on and off the field who've come together to make this whole thing happen.
Thanks so much. I think you gave everybody quite a good background on where the club comes from and what it takes to put such a championship winning team together. Hussain, you said you recently took over the reins at the club just this season. Run me through your first meeting with the club and speaking to the players for the first time. How did you win them on your side? Was it a bit of a challenge being a new face in the change room, or was it quite easy because the players just played their part?
No, it's never easy. I think my initial idea was just to become, just to identify and see where the challenges were. What is it that needed changing? So very often in these type of environments, when you come in as a coach, there's a lot of good things already happening. So, to come in and just start changing things is not always a good idea. So for me, it was just about sitting down and assessing, where the challenges were and where the real areas were that needed changing. And so it took me a little bit of time, I think, initially. So we've had a team, and thanks to Zakir Kathrada, who's our captain, who has played around the country first class cricket for a long time. So he provides a lot of leadership from within the team environment. Then we had Sammy Bulbulia, who is our manager. He's done a sterling job with recruitment of players. We've had Hussain Manack, who's on the Gauteng Cricket Board, and he plays a massive role as well with regards to keeping the club together off the field. So the executive was very strong. The selection committee was there. They had a cricket affairs committee. So everything was in place, and very often with these things, it's almost like putting a puzzle together. And you need to sit back and go like, okay, we've got this puzzle, and all these pieces are here, and maybe there's just a small piece missing, as opposed to breaking the whole puzzle up and trying to rebuild the puzzle. So that was the challenge for me, is to sit back and just do an assessment. And it took me, I must say, it took me a month or two, maybe even 3 months, to just sit down and go like, okay, what really needed changing? And then to sit down. And then obviously my biggest challenge was there was a lot of first-class players in the team. We've had some really good players who played around the country. Some of them played at Mpumalanga, some of them played at Northwest, some at Gauteng who played provincial first-class cricket. And then a group of really good club cricketers as well who were totally committed. And then it was about running the practice sessions and bringing that all together. And I always say that when you start coaching, okay, this is club level, but if you coach at a decent level of cricket, where you're coaching serious cricketers who understand the game and have played at a higher level, there's not much you can really teach them. You can teach them a few things from a coaching perspective, but really it's about getting them to understand what their role is within the team environment and then putting that all together. And I found that for me was my initial challenge. And I think once I overcame that, together with the help of Zakir, with Sammy and with Yasin and everybody else in that team environment, I think it became a lot easier. So yeah, alhamdulillah, there were some challenges up front, but that was the biggest thing for me.
Thank you so much, Hussain, for that. We are joined by Zakir Kathrada. He's going to chat to us a bit more about his role as a captain and what it took to get them through to winning the title. We're going to cut to a quick ad break. When we do come back, we're going to be chatting to Marks Park Cricket Club a bit more and getting some more insight from them on what it's like to win a championship title.
Huda SA is an organization that focuses primarily on assisting communities within the eThekwini region by collaborating with existing Islamic centers, mosques and madrasas. Your contribution goes towards the uplifting of orphans and vulnerable children, including vulnerable families, by assisting with education, welfare, nutrition and maintenance of madrasas, mosques and Islamic community centers. Make the difference. Donate to our noble causes. More information is available at huda-int.org or WhatsApp or call us on 031 271 3049.
My Lord, show me right from wrong. Give me light, make me strong. I know the road is long.
In South Africa, countless numbers of sick patients leave their homes at the crack of dawn to join long queues at clinics and public hospitals, many of them suffering pangs of hunger in addition to the symptoms of disease. The Al Imdad Foundation's Slice for Life teams deliver sandwiches to these patients at more than 40 hospitals and clinics across the country. Help us to keep on relieving hunger. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
The best of you are those who learn the Quran and teach it to others. Bukhari. Penny Appeal's Hifz Orphan Program ensures that a child not only learns the blessed Quran, but also lives and practices the values our religion and Quran teaches. It is a beautiful opportunity for a child to turn their life around, creating a lasting relationship that brings faith, hope, and follows the prophetic tradition. Sponsor a Hifz orphan today and enable positive contributions to society. Give change to make change. Visit www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 0011 573. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Salam Media, your link to a spiritual Ramadan.
أو كيف السبيل أنت بالتحدي تصنع المستحيل.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Salam Media. I am your host, Zakir Dawood. It's now 12:20. I'm taking you right through until 1 o'clock this afternoon. We're chatting to the recent and the newly crowned Enza Premier League champions, Marks Park Cricket Club. I'm joined by Hussain Manack and Zakir Kathrada, who is the captain of the team. They're telling us what it took to put this championship winning team together and the title. We had Hussain with us before the break. Now we're joined by Zakir. For those of you that want to interact with us, you can interact in the comment section below. You can also give us a call in studio on 011 let me just get that number, 01168 00355. Also drop us a WhatsApp on the WhatsApp line at 061 766 0355. Yep, we're chatting to Marks Park Cricket Club. Hussain, thanks so much for that insight before the break. We're joined by Zakir Kathrada. Zakir, assalamu alaikum. It looks like we just have a slight delay on his side. There we go. Assalamu alaikum, Zakir.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you so much for joining me on Salam Media this afternoon. No, we totally understand. Zakir,
load shedding, mate.
Just about a week ago, you were crowned you were obviously captained the Marks Park team to the NZ Premier League title. Do you still feel that hype and that excitement going through your body a week later after lifting the title?
I do, definitely. It's something that the club hasn't achieved before, and to lead the club to a league victory is something great. And like you said, it still hasn't sunk in. I think, in the next couple of weeks, it should hit me properly. But right now, it still feels like a bit of a dream.
Zakir, you've played cricket around the country, and just to give everybody a bit of insight as to where you come from and your cricketing background, tell us a bit about your cricket journey thus far and how your experiences helped you guide this team to the championship.
Okay, so most people think that my cricket journey started in Cape Town, but it actually started in a small little town in the Northwest Province called Swizer. Not many people have heard of it, but that's where my dad's from, and that's where cricket started for me. That's where the passion grew, and facilities weren't great. There weren't any representative teams in that side, so my dad had to make the move to Cape Town for my cricket, and that's where my cricket started to flourish. And from there, I moved to Kimberley, played at Griquas for 5 seasons, and from there I made the move to Joburg. And I think all those years of playing first class cricket has definitely, improved my decision making as captain. It made it easier for me to deal with certain players. So I learned a lot during my time playing first class cricket, and obviously having a coach like Hussain Manack, who's been right at the top, makes it a lot easier. So I just brought my little bit of experience that I had, and the rest was from the coaching and the great set of players that I've had around me.
And what is it like working with a coach like Hussain Manack? Did he give you a lot of freedom to obviously express yourself the way you'd want to? Whereas, you know how it goes, other coaches sort of look for the softest target in the room and then make them the captain because it's always that controlling factor.
Look, his coach is mic on. I'm not sure if he wants to hear this. No, I'm joking. It's been amazing. I think he's brought that professionalism to our club, which has made it easy for everyone to just jump on the wagon and move this club forward. He's brought all his experience he's had with the national team. I think he's brought in so many different plans that we have used this season that have made us successful. I think it's just been a pleasure to have someone with his experience and knowledge around. Yes, sometimes he has a go at us, but I think all coaches do that. But it's all within reason. But it's just been really great to have him, and I think the preparation he's brought into our season has obviously had a big influence in us being successful.
Coach, just to get you in there, Zakir shared a bit of kind words there. What was it like for you as a coach working with a player of his caliber?
Yeah, I think you put him on the spot there, but so he doesn't have a choice. He's got to say a few nice things about me, but I appreciate the kind words, and I think for me it's been, as I said earlier, it's been an absolute, not an easy ride, but I think they've definitely made my life a lot easier. People like Zakir, like Sammy Bubulia, like Hussain Manack, Ayub, the guys who've been part of the club. And I think for me, it was just about coming and identifying roles, getting people to understand their roles, putting things together. And on the field, and I must say even off the field, Zakir's played a tremendous leadership role with the players. He's made my life very easy. He reads and understands the game really well. So on the field, there was very little really for me to do. I would make some notes, observations, and then maybe have a quiet chat with him afterwards, and then in the team talks, etc. But I think generally, Zakir's made my life very, very easy because of his experience and the fact that he understands the game so well and has played the game for so many years at a high level. So it's been a real pleasure. I think we've got a nice unit. We've got a team that I think if we continue to gel and stay together and keep growing, I think we can continue to find success on and off the field. And when I say off the field, I'm talking more reputation, about perceptions around, about keeping the integrated South African society together so that everybody can come together and play for one another. You know, we're not just an exclusive bunch of buddies from one little community. We've brought people together with the help of Sammy and Zakir and a few others, people from all over the country, from different cultures, different religions. We are totally integrated, non-racial team. And I think that gives us a great sense of pride to get people from so many different communities. I mean, I've had that challenge for the last 20 odd years playing here up in Gauteng. It's been traditionally one of the most, or the least transformed provinces in the country. I know there's challenges around the country, but Gauteng traditionally, when I went at Unity in 91, 92, been a very resistant province to transformation. It was still very much an old guard of ex-white administrators running cricket here. They saw this as kind of like a little bit of a powerhouse or a base where they could hold on to old apartheid style cricket administration, and they got away with it for a few years, and eventually the clubs got together, we fought for change, and we've started to find a society where I think everybody can work together. Yes, I think at Gauteng Cricket Board there's still a lot of challenges. They still are finding challenges along the way, but I think in the little bubble that we can control, which is our club, I think we've, together with everybody, the club administration, the members, and everybody involved, I think the guys have done an amazing job in bringing everybody together. And I must say, Zakir, with his network of contacts, having understood the game, and even his network of players that he gets along with, bringing them into the club and just getting the guys all to play for one another. It's been quite inspirational for me to sit back and just watch a lot of that take place and unfold.
Zakir, just to get you back in on the conversation, as Coach Hussain Manack shared with us, that you captaining players from different backgrounds and different spaces in South Africa, and getting them all together in the same team. How did you have to adjust your leadership style in order to be on the same page and relate to all of those players?
Okay, so what made it a little bit easier for me was the fact that I had known the players that have come to the club before. I played against them, played in the same team as some of them. And, cricket is a sport that, when you play it for a while, you make a lot of good friendships. You learn to realize that nothing else matters but the person. And then you just start getting to know the person for who he is and not for where he's from or where he's played or what color he is. And once you start seeing people like that, it becomes a lot easier to put people together. And if cricket and success is the common goal, then, everything else becomes easy, especially if we all play for each other.
That's so true. And I mean, recently you've lifted the title in front of an entire community that your club represents. And by just lifting that title and getting the sense in the air around you, what did it mean to them?
Can you just repeat the last bit? You just broke up a little bit.
Oh, sorry. So I asked, you recently lifted the title and you get that sense in the air and sort of that aura that's just around you guys. What did that title mean to the community as a whole?
I think it's definitely huge. I mean, the build up to the final, I attended a function where I got the opportunity to speak to some of the old cricketers that have come before us, and just listening to their stories and what they've been through and the tough times they've had, and how excited they were for us. And they're part of our larger community, our cricket community. And to listen to them and the excitement in their voices for what we could have possibly achieved and what we did end up achieving in the end was just really big for me. And that gave me an idea of the magnitude.
Oh, we just had a break in signal there and we lost Zakir Kathrada. It's such a difficult time. Hey, South Africa, I tell you. Just a loss in Wi-Fi connection. But Hussain, if you just want to continue where Zakir left off and just give our listeners and our viewers out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and also those that are listening online, just give them a bit of a background as to what this title meant to the community.
I think as Zakir touched on there, that there's a rich history of cricket in this Johannesburg area, very similar to in the Cape, where there's a history of non-white cricket that goes back over 100 years, and this province has produced many great cricketers. Solly Chotias. My dad played during that apartheid era. He represented Transvaal back then. Hussein Ayub, Tiffy Barnes. I can give you many names. There was a black cricketer called Frank Gogo. It's spelled Roro, who played out in Crown Mines, which is not too far from Marks Park and Fordsburg, and he scored 100 hundreds, and nobody knew of him. And they used to call him the Dusty Bradman. So in our communities, black, Indian, and colored communities, we've traditionally produced many great cricketers who, had we not been in an apartheid system, I think would have gone on to represent South Africa and the Proteas. And over the years, they just never ever got that recognition. So our challenge at Unity, and when I started playing in 91, 92, and I was on that first tour in 91 to India when South Africa went to India on the first tour post-isolation. And even then, for the 10 years post-91, it was still very much a totally white-dominated setup. You had a few black administrators. We had a few non-white cricketers. But essentially, it was still very much a white-controlled environment, and mostly white cricketers were seen as good enough. Players of color were never, ever seen as being good enough. It was always about they needed to be given a hand out in order to be good enough to represent the country or the province they're in, So there have been always those challenges. And I think for us, that's really what it's been about. It's about how do we come and represent our communities with pride, and also show people that, within our communities, we've had the great cricketers in the past, but they've just never been given the opportunities. And now, if our youngsters, like, for example, now when we won the league, we had a massive turnout. A lot of youngsters were there throughout the season. They now start to look up to people like Zakir and the other players in our Premier League side and look up to them as role models. And see that, if these guys can achieve these wonderful things, and so can we. If they can play at first-class level and go on to represent South Africa like the JP Duminis, like the Hashim Amlas, like the Temba Bavumas, then we can do these things as well. So that's really been, I think, the wonderful achievement, I think, from my perspective, is that putting all those things together. And I think the community, like Zakir touched on, is, your older players of the past. It's given them, I think, also a lot of pride to say that, our communities can excel. It's not just about giving opportunities and playing and being kind of quota players or whatever the case is. No, we can come in there and we can compete with the best and we can beat the best. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much more or less the story from our side, yeah.
I think that's spot on. And I mean, that certainly gave me goosebumps. And for all of those listeners and viewers at home that got goosebumps watching that interview, I mean, I want to become a cricketer now. Where can we get hold of you guys so that anybody who wants to join Marks Park Cricket Club can contact you guys?
Yeah, I think Marks Park Cricket, we do have a website. We are on easy to Google search us. We're based in Amarentia, so let's really get in touch with us in our communities. We're looking to get a women's team started as well. Lots of junior clubs. We're running now a winter academy, high performance winter academy, which will be running throughout winter. So anybody who wants to hone their skills and improve their skills during the off season is welcome to contact me as well and get in touch with us. And so we're running lots of programs. But I think the junior setup at Marks Park has been really fantastic over the years. It's been very well run by the administrators, the coaches. A lot of our Premier League players are coaching at junior level, which is fantastic to see, because They bring in all the experience of playing at first class level, playing at all the different levels, coming and passing it on to the 8, 10, 12, 14-year-old youngsters, and that can only bode well for the community and for the young cricketers as well.
No, definitely. Before I do let you go, Zakir, you've managed to get victory last week. However, our national team went down to the Pakistanis. After the break, I'm going to be joined by Suleiman Moden, our cricket analyst, that's going to tell us more about this.
Oh, my old friend Moden. Hey, I love him. He's a great guy. He knows everything about South African cricket. He's a legend.
The cricket community is just so small in South Africa. So, Zakir, quick one. Thoughts on that? Where did it go wrong? Where do we move forward from here? The big question going around is, okay, I can't ask you this question. It would obviously have to go more to to Coach Hussain. But your thoughts, where did South Africa go wrong?
Sure, it's difficult to tell. It's been South Africa losing series has been a problem for the last couple of seasons. It's tough to say, it's tough to just blame players or coaches or the structure. I think we are just at the moment, I think we are far behind the international standard. If you look at the cricket that some of the other countries are playing and you compare to what we are playing, I think the problem is that we are a little bit far behind in terms of the standards set by those countries. I don't think that we are short of players. I just think that our standard is not up there. And I think if we, with the restructuring of our domestic setup, hopefully, that strengthens cricket and we end up finding more players that are of international quality.
Well, you've heard it from the captain, Zakir himself, spoken like a pro. And it's always nice to get a player's perspective on this, because out there in the media and all over social media, you're always hearing people going for individual players, going for the coaches, going for the administration of the sport. And once you're in the pick of things and you're in the middle of a cycle, you can actually give a holistic view compared to just a one-sided view. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. It was really interesting getting to hear everything about Marks Park Cricket Club and your victory in the NZ Premier League. I appreciate your time and good luck for the future.
Shukran. Thanks a million for having us. Thank you.
I found that was Marks Park Cricket Club telling us about the title victory. They were recently crowned the champions of the NZ Premier League, being the first non-racial club post-unity to win that title. What an amazing achievement. But stay tuned to Salam Media. We're going to be going to a quick ad break. When we do come back, we're going to be chatting to Suleiman Moden. He's going to tell us all about the Proteas series loss to Pakistan. It's going to be interesting. Let's hear his thoughts and see where exactly it went wrong and what the Proteas need to work on so that they do have a successful 2021 right after.